Coreyemmah here.
Hi, this is Zorana.
And I have another Skype call for you, this time in English, because I'm calling with my dear friend whom I met in Ireland. And Zorana, tell us who you are, what are you up to, what's your field of study?
Hi, so my name is Zorana. I'm coming from Croatia, but I live in Ireland, and my field is astrology. So basically, I'm mostly interested in psychological aspects of astrology, natal charts, and it's basically it. I'm studying astrology for quite a few years now, but I'm interested in it basically since forever, so as long as I can remember.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, astrology is absolutely great and complex thing to work with, and so I really appreciate to have some friends who are more in depth of astrology. It can be quite complicated, but it's very interesting, especially from that psychological point of view about like relationships between people and how does your basic chart is affecting your relationships and your life. And that's basically the main topic that we want to cover today in our chat. And my first question for you was, how does astrological chart affect us?
I turned the question around because I don't think that natal chart affects us, and this is the two points of view in astrology. So we have something called exoteric and esoteric astrology. So one side believes that people are influenced by outer forces, outer events, happenings, planets and stars. Something happens to you, you react on that. So basically, that we react to things that are happening to us, and those kinds of reactions can be predicted. And esoteric astrology, and I would be more inclined to this side, believes that there is a free will and choice, and we can always kind of but we do have a say in what is happening to us. So we are not doomed to some sort of destiny that is written in the stone and cannot be changed, cannot be influenced, cannot be, that we can't work with it or on it. So I do believe that we can. And
so we can change our life based on the knowledge also of the chart and stuff.
Exactly. So the key is that we know, that we get to know our chart, that we get to know ourselves, and from that point then we get to have a say in what is happening.
And based on that knowledge of ourselves, we can change a bit, we can develop our skills, we can take upper the stuff that we want to take upper and work with the stuff that might be in the shadow and so on.
Yeah, we see that as a task. So you can choose always an easy way. An easy way would be just not bothering with that and letting things happen to you. And in that case, predictive astrology would be 100% correct for you. So I would be able to say, this will happen to you, this will happen to you, this will happen to you, because you have zero say in that. But if you decide, okay, I will take a good look at who am I, what kind of forces are within me, because they are forces within us, good and bad, and we need to address them all. That's the shadow part you're talking about. If we go the hard way and we choose to address all these issues, to take a good hard look at who we actually are, not just our sun sign, our ego, but all other parts of the chart, the ones that we project on other people, the ones that we say, oh, this is not me, this is you, but it's actually all us, it's always all us. So if we choose that hard way, then of course that we get to say, what happens to us. The stars don't influence us then, we're kind of dancing a dance.
Yeah, so we are basically working with what was given to us, but the stars are changing as well as we are changing through the life.
And you can imagine that as layers. So you can imagine some sort of steps. Okay, for example, your sun sign, you could be at the first step of ego development. If your sign is Leo, you could just be very egocentric. You could be very demanding of attention, hungry for attention. Or you could be a couple of steps up And then you could kind of work with what you're given, but expressing it in a different way, not coming up as such, egocentric, very intimidating for other people. You could maybe put that all energy and force into expressing yourself in a different way, again influencing other people, again being creative, again being very expressive, but getting a different result. Okay.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing example, because I think that we will get there also with the Leo sign when we get a bit more into the sun and the ascendant in our charts. I wanted to ask you, from what you were telling me, it feels to me a bit like that if we don't know our chart, if we just know our, let's say, sun sign, and maybe just read time to time something in the newspaper about our sun sign, is it like that we are basically going with the flow, we are letting the prophecy, let's say, to happen, while when we just look into the chart and work with those aspects, with those powers that are through the natal chart showing themselves, how they are put inside of us, how they are creating the start point of our psyche, is it like that we are basically slightly fighting it in some ways?
Okay, first about the reading of the sun sign description in the newspapers and
okay.
the horoscopes, they don't work. And they don't work because they are addressing only one very small part of every single, horoscope and person. So only your sun sign, and not even that is the same for each. For example, Leo, because your sun could be in the 5th house, in the 10th house, it could be in this aspect or that. So, if you look at each natal chart, it corresponds with a certain person. You don't have, 100 people born at the exactly same time, at exactly same spots on the earth. So they would be, and even if they develop differently. So there are other influences. So each natal chart is
they are surrounded with different charts.
And they respond differently. They work differently with the energies they have. Even if you take twins, for example, born exactly same date, exactly same time, exactly same place, and they are developing different aspects of the same chart. I have twins in my family, so it's the same chart, but one twin is developing more one side of the chart, and the other one is developing the other side. So it's like two halves, but working, from different perspectives.
That's quite interesting.
And the other part questions that you ask, if we choose not to look at it, that doesn't mean that we will be doomed, because we could work with ourselves in a different field. We could work with, psychology. We could work with magic. We could work with something else. But astrology,
the life itself could kind of move us to some other place, through some stuff that happens to us in the life. Of course, also to people who absolutely don't go into witchcraft or astrology or anything like that.
If you're a good observer of yourself, you will learn almost, I would say almost the same amount as you would get from any other field. So astrology is a tool to get to know yourself better. And when you do that, you can do anything. Okay, when you really know yourself and you really know who you are, I think that you have no limits then. And that's what astrology is. It's a tool for getting to know yourself.
Yeah, so then when I know myself, I am taking the personal responsibility for my life. That's important part as well, I suppose.
Yes, that is the most important part. So if you don't take responsibility, of course you are a victim of your story. So say the natal chart with certain aspects hold the story. Something happened to you, you came in this world in a certain circumstances. If you don't hold responsibility, you are in a victim mode. You always respond as a victim to whatever happens to you. If you hold responsibility, you have some sort of control. So you are in a position of a power with your responsibility. Without it, you are not in a position of a power. So all the aspects would play you other than the other way around. And of course that there will be suffering in life, there will be limits, there will be problems, issues and challenges. We all have a Saturn in our charts, wherever it is, we all have it. We all have a Pluto, we all have some difficult energies, just differently, just put in a different way, because we all have different problems, but we all have something where we struggle. So life will have some sort of limit for you and some sort of suffering, and you just have to accept it, and you have to be responsible for your own part of it.
And understand that that's part of me as well, part of my journey. Which
and that
always helps and gives you at least hope for the beginning, that this is going to be tough maybe, but after that you're growing stronger, and it's a part of your life, and the life never goes just like a line. It always goes hills and valleys.
And also with the chart, we can see where the challenges are, but on the other hand, see where our strengths are, where our talents, what we can develop with ease. So you can see, oh look, this is what I don't have to fight. This is what would develop more easily with me. I choose to work with that. I choose to work on my strengths to make it even more, better. And then I choose to address my weaknesses and, what is challenging for me.
Mm-hmm. Maybe also rather, instead of calling it exactly fight, like against, I would say it's rather like to gain some kind of understanding, or like not accepting with like going with the flow, but like finding our way through it, rather than like, it's never, just to clarify that it's never to go against ourselves, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah,
you like that?
You put it in a really nice way.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, well, I hope that we will be able to see each other again for the part about like Saturn and the shadowy parts and the challenges that we just mentioned briefly. But I would like to ask today also a bit about the role of the sun in our chart, and also about the role of the Ascendant, because lately I see in kind of new generation of witches are much more into the Ascendant aspect than into the Sun aspect. And when I was younger, or when I was just new into astrology and stuff, even though I'm still kind of new into it, the Sun was the main thing. That was the starting point. That was the thing that we started from when we wanted to know something about ourselves, and then we went through another planet, and then you started with Ascendant in like the third step or something. So what actually is Ascendant, in case that somebody doesn't know? Because it is connected to the Sun as well in some way, isn't it?
Okay, so Ascendant is our rising sign. It's the sign that was rising on the horizon at the moment of our birth. Now, roughly translated, Ascendant would be our most personal point in the chart. So in that case, your young witches would be right. Ascendant is the most important part of the chart because it's our most intimate part, the one that we own the most. Now, why is the Sun important? The Sun is important because Sun is visible. Sun is the outer part of our ego, like sun in the sky. You cannot not see it. It illuminates everything else. It makes this reality visible. So if it's in our chart, it makes us visible. We are visible through our sun sign. We recognize ourselves through our sun sign. So I represent myself as my sun sign. I talk to you from my outer ego. I represent myself to the public in a certain image which I think that I am. So I say, my name is, I am this, I come from here. That's my sun sign. Okay, that's my ID. But myself, when I'm alone, when nobody looks at me, that's my rising sign. It rises. It rises, but it cannot be denied, okay? I can play with my sun, I can put my makeup on, I can represent myself, how I want to look like. But the Ascendant is kind of, now this is in a literature, this is kind of the other way around. They say that Ascendant is our mask, the mask that we're wearing. But I think when you put a mask on, sometimes that's the point where you show your true face. Sometimes that's what you actually want to be, but maybe you don't dare to be that. That's our Ascendant. That's why it's the most personal, because we don't share that with others. We share our sun sign, like shining everywhere, every time, anytime, but Ascendant is very private.
Okay. It's slightly bit confusing for me, because when I went through the notes that you sent me, it was exactly like the sun is what we think we are, and it's the super ego, while the Ascendant is something that we don't share, and that it's like our inner self that is shining. That's kind of what you wrote me, and I will take it on my example. That's why I was grateful that you picked up the example of the sun in Leo. And I don't have the sun in Leo. I have the sun in Taurus, actually. But my Ascendant is in Leo. And just to cover the story or the point why I'm talking about it is that I'm always saying that for some reason, as a Taurus, I always want my peace. As a sun, I always want my peace and to have everything relaxed. But for some reason, my Ascendant, the Leo, is constantly visible. So I never had that peace. And that's also a part of the reasons why I started making videos. Because through the videos, I'm basically using that energy and that power of the Leo and sending it out in some different way.
Okay, to create and
show up struggles in the life, and that's totally not intimate. That basically I think in normal life, when I leave the house, I'm Taurus.
Okay.
But exactly as you said. But when I go online, I'm Leo, and loads of people are telling me that I'm two different people, like that I'm very different in comparison to like personal.
Okay, so your example is very specific, because when Leo is your rising sign, it means that the sun is the ruler of your chart. So the planet...
Because Leo is connected with the sun.
Yes. So the planet that rules the sign is the ruler of the chart. So for example, if the Taurus was your rising sign, Venus would be ruling your entire chart. So we would be looking, where is the Venus in your chart? Which sign is it in? What aspects does it make? Which house is it in? But since you're rising as a Leo and Sun is the ruler, we are automatically looking, where is the Sun in this chart? And Sun in this chart is in Taurus. And that's why it's kind of the need of Leo, which is expressed through the Sun and rules the chart, is in Taurus. It would be like you want to create, you want to express, you want to show up. How are you showing up? You're showing up as a Taurus. You're showing up by, I don't know, being connected to nature, looking for a peace, creating something beautiful, because Taurus likes beautiful things, beautiful objects. And then the house where the Sun is, it would be 10th house, I think, for you.
I'd say so. I can look at it up.
So it would be like a public place. So 10th house is the public place. It is like the top of the mountain that we are climbing. It's connected to career, to your work, not to your work, exactly to the career. So not to some job, but something that you're building. And Taurus likes to build. Taurus likes to have good foundations and to build something that will last and have some value, because it's all about values, So that's why for you, you're yearning to express that Leo. Sun is the ruler of your chart.
Yeah, you're right that the Sun is in the 10th house, because we are basically starting the houses from the Ascendant sign. It's just to clarify a few details. Yeah, it's actually quite true. the way you put it, that I basically need to kind of send that energy out, and it's basically there's some kind of sparkle or fire in me by that Leo that needs to go, but exactly nature, peace, and some kind of beauty are definitely popping up. Some people tell me also that I look like that I look like Taurus. Is it like that we kind of look like our sun in the chart, or is it again the combination?
It is a combination. More likely is that we look like our ascendant, because the first house would be connected to the look. But of course, sun is also important, as that is what we are, how we are representing ourselves, what are we putting on ourselves. You know, I read a really good example. So how to connect sun and ascendant. So if you imagine you see a car on the street and somebody is driving that car, so the car would be ascendant and driver would be the sun. So if you are Taurus with a Leo ascending, so imagine a fast red car, very shiny, very fast, very loud, and then imagine like a classy lady driving it, you know. So who is driving? A sun is driving. Sun is ego, the conscious part, the outer part of ourselves is deciding, you know, where are we going, what do we want. It's all about goals, direction, you know, very public expression. And ascendant is again, you know, maybe what impression are we leaving? We cannot actually control that. We think we can, but we can't. I can show up here and do whatever I do, but you will leave it some sort of impression, and I can't know what are you thinking about me in your head. Okay, that's out of my control. That's not really what I can manipulate.
Because of that kind of leaks through the aura.
Exactly.
And would it be also applicable to fashion, let's say, like that certain ascendants or certain suns are wearing certain clothes, and it's affected by the ascendant, that you have that, like, you know what, like as a Taurus, I know what's comfortable and what I want to wear to work to just be comfortable. That's like the main thing. But then I just want this huge golden ring with it, because even though I'm wearing basically a tracksuit, like if I went for jogging, because I want to be comfortable as a Taurus, I just have to give it that kick as a Leo. Is that also that is going through the natal chart as well?
Yes, so, but in this case I would also add a Venus sign, because Venus is telling about our likes and dislikes, what do we want, what are we attracted to, and, you know, stuff like that. So I would say Sun, Venus, and Ascendant would tell us about style, personal style, you know, passion, or just generally sense of what we like and how we want to present ourselves. So yes, what you described is a good example of Taurus and Leo combination. And I remember from your chart, I think that you have a Venus in Aries, is it?
Yes.
Yes. So that would be another spice to add. So Venus in Aries, that's, you know, bright red. That's like very, very noticeable. Like a femme fatale kind of vibe.
My Leo is pleased.
Yeah. But definitely these three would be connected, and you again, because you're a Taurus and Taurus is ruled by a Venus, so again these three would be very connected in your chart. But that's only one part how we can look at things, and you see how we are going through one to another to a third. You know, everything is connected within one chart. We don't just look at the sun, we look where is it, which sign, what planet rules that sign, where is that planet, and then what ascendant, the planet who rules the ascendant, where is that. So we are looking around all the time, connecting the dots. We don't take just one part and we don't analyze it like separately from the rest of the chart. We have the whole, as you're the whole person. We don't dissect you, we look at you, you know, completely.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'd say that this is kind of like amazing conclusion, and I hope that we will be able to talk soon on another planets and aspects so we can kind of connect it a tiny bit more. Okay? Cool. Thank you very much. So, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Pokud se vám video líbilo, tak neváhejte dát like a odebírat můj kanál. A při odběru nezapomeňte kliknout na malý zvoneček vedle hlavního tlačítka, abyste ode mě měli všechny informace z první ruky. Taky mě můžete sledovat na Instagramu nebo se ke mně připojit na Facebooku a pokud byste měli nějaký dotaz, tak mi neváhejte napsat na můj e-mail a kdybyste se chtěli dozvědět něco více o mých kurzech, tak navštivte moje stránky. Moji tvorbu můžete také podpořit skrze PayPal nebo Ko-fi, na které najdete odkazy dole pod videem.